Well, it's that time of year again, everybody. It's that time of year where the year is coming to an end. Can you believe 2025 is almost over? Blessed be, honestly, but also like, yikes to 2026 because I don't see it improving. This is my yearly tradition that I started last year, so it's been going on for quite some time. I'm being sarcastic if you couldn't tell. I really started paying attention to this YouTube channel like right around this time last year, so I would consider this my 1-year anniversary around that time. However, I had this channel for like 6 years. I just didn't post on it for like a lot of years, so here we are. We used to be a BJD channel here. We are not doing the end of year BJD tag this year. In lieu of the end of year BJD tag, we're doing this video, which is my favorite dolls that I got in 2025 video. And because we're not doing the BJD video this year, BJDs will be included in this video as contenders for my favorites. Wow, isn't this exciting? What a delight. I did like do some serious damage on these displays just trying to pull these dolls out. I kind of tried to fix it to make it look presentable, but things be a-fallen. I have pulled out a significant amount of my favorite dolls of the year, but some of them we're just gonna look at in the display because there's either like too many, or they were too hard to move, or I just like them the way they are. Last year I did my top 10 favorite dolls. I had too many that I liked this year, so it's top 15. Call it cheating, I don't care. I'm a cheater. But without any further ado, let's just get right into it because nobody wants to hear me just ramble on and on, or maybe you do. Let me know in the comment section down below. I feel like the videos where I ramble on and on more are the ones that get more views, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because YouTube totally changed their algorithm, so now AI just watches all your videos and decides whether you're a person or not. I don't know, am I a person? Put your answers in the comment section down below. I've literally been putting this off all day. I like don't want to film it for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I feel guilty that some weren't chosen as the top 15. I like really put human emotions onto inanimate objects. Like they can't feel feelings, they're plastic, and yet I still feel guilty for not choosing them. We're starting with my top 15 favorite dolls of the year. All right, let's get to the list. I wrote it down. It took me ages to figure out what I was gonna say here because once again, I don't want anybody to feel bad. I love everybody, but some are just more loved than others. And we're gonna start with number 15, and this isn't gonna come as a surprise to anybody. Number 15 on this list is somebody who had a real moment this year, and because of their real moment I discovered that they existed, and now I could not live my life without them. Of course, number 15 is going to be Labubu. Wow, would you look at all that natural light? And I know what you're thinking. Labubu isn't a doll. You couldn't be more wrong. Labubu is a doll. Look at these. Those are dolls. These are some of my like literal grail dolls from the year. I got Flip With Me, which was my original like big doll need. There she is. We got Rock the Universe here, who I just think was too beautiful to pass up. And then of course my grail big doll, Mococo. The only doll I'm still missing from the Grail collection is Catch Me If You Like Me, but maybe someday we can get her. The reason I'm choosing Labubu as number 15, even though some people might not consider it a doll, is because I feel like it's a doll collecting starter pack. You know what I mean? Maybe you got obsessed with Labubu because the world was obsessed with Labubu and you picked one up and you're like, wow, this feels really nice. I love having a little trinket that's cute that I can love. And then you think, wow, I remember Bratz dolls from my childhood. That's another trinket I could potentially love. And because you opened the door with Labubu, now you feel comfortable going through the door and picking up that Brat doll. And that's the reason why Labubu has made it to the last place, number 15 on the list, because she is, of course, a starter pack for more doll collecting. This isn't all the Labubus I have, it's just the ones in my general vicinity. But I would consider these ones the dolliest of the dolls, and of course, my Zomomo. He found me. Yes, for $27. The next doll on this list is an actual doll. I purchased her very early on in the year. This gem doll that I got from Walmart for $25 has made it to number 14 on my list. The reason she's number 14 are because, first of all, her face is gorgeous. I mean, I love this screening style. I feel like it's so captures that like 80s aesthetic that I love so much. The doll has extraordinarily quality clothing on, as you can see. She looks gorgeous and stunning. Just the shine on the dress gives her so much dimension. I love that so much. But also this body shape, like, are you kidding? This is my like ideal doll shape. Like, personally, She looks like a human being, and I appreciate that so much. I love the gem dolls. I picked this one as my favorite because the price point was the best of the three. I only paid $25 for this doll, and honestly, I think it's an extraordinary deal. Now, of course, at the beginning of this year, things were different, so maybe things were a little bit cheaper. I, at the time though, said that I thought that price point was a little low, and now the new releases for the gem dolls are $45. I think that's closer to the right price, if I'm being honest, for the quality and the details. Like, this is a heavy doll. She's substantial. She looks gorgeous. Her clothes are stunning. I just get sheer joy every time I look at her. And that's the reason why she made it to number 14 on this list. Yes, very stunning, very gorgeous. If you were around last year and you saw me review that gem doll in the moment, leave a microphone emoji down below so I know how long you've been with me. And now we're moving on to lucky number 13. And in the 13th spot of my top 15 favorite dolls of the year are, of course, the Defa Lucy Love dolls. I have two of them. I wasn't going to be able to choose my favorite one between them, so we're putting them as a group, and I do this a lot because I'm a cheater, like I said in the beginning. I got these two from the Defa Lucy Love collection. First of all, for me, this style, this sort of like cutesy, kawaii, pastel style is like one of my favorite things to see on dolls. Second of all, the clothing is super quality. It's really, really nice. I just think that they did a beautiful job with these. Look at her little pom-pom details. Look at her little scrunchy details. I mean, please. I also really love these faces, and I feel like this year specifically we kind of saw Defa Lucy branch out a little bit with the faces, which has been nice. These two have a very similar screening style, and I'm pretty sure they're the same face mold, but we've seen a lot of different faces from Defa Lucy this year, which I really appreciate. I mean, these ones were a little bit more expensive. They were like $40, I think, which is kind of high if I'm being honest, but I love the style of them so much I was willing to pay that. I think like a better price for these would probably be around $30. I would feel more comfortable paying that, but obviously it didn't deter me from putting them at number 13 on the list. I think Defa Lucy is just really coming through. I think she could potentially become a Barbie rival in the future if she keeps doing releases like this, so I'm really excited to see what comes in the future, and that is why these lovely ladies made it to number 13 on the list. Yay. Number 12. This is another early in the year purchase. I remember when I got her, I was sitting at my house in Massachusetts, so it must have been January or February. But number 12 on the list is also a Defa Lucy doll. It's from the collector's edition, and this is the Defa Lucy Lunar doll. Now, I saw her and knew I had to have her immediately. First of all, because I really like the face of the Defa Lucy collector dolls. I think it's really gorgeous. I loved this bob. I think it's so cute, even though it's like massively gelled. This outfit for me is like so like the style that I enjoy. I'm not like a super glam doll lover. Like, some people love their dolls in like the most glamorous outfit, like a ball gown. Not for me. I like a high fashion sort of everyday wear look, and I feel like they accomplished that really well with this doll. She's got a really nice high quality sweater on. She's got a little pleather bag here, this absolutely stunning asymmetric pleated skirt. We've got fabric shoes, some tights. Her body is also beautifully sculpted. She has this stunning tattoo on her back too, which I just think is such a nice, just like added little detail. I love that so much. I think once again, Defa Lucy is really coming through with some really high quality dolls. Just generally speaking, I feel like the collector dolls are kind of a very fair price, or they were when I bought her. I believe she was only $65, which I think is a very fair price for what you're getting here. I would have more of them if I had any money because they just keep releasing ones that I want. And I think that they're a good investment if you like this style of doll to add to your collection, and that's why Defa Lucy Lunar doll has made it to number 12 on my list. Stunning. All right, the next doll on my list is another collector doll. More collector dolls made it onto this list than I thought, but they're all kind of low on it, honestly. I don't know. I love looking at collector dolls, but I also really like the experience of like touching and playing with my dolls, and I feel more comfortable doing that with Playline dolls, so I often get more joy and satisfaction actually out of the Playline dolls than the collector dolls. But this one is a collector. She's a high quality one, and she, of course, I'm gonna take this bag away from her because it's gonna fall. I just wanted you to get the full picture. It had something to do with pink, like Poppy Parker Pink Paradise or something. I'm just making things up now. I don't even know. This doll was my first experience with like a brand new Integirty Toys dolls, and she lived up to all of my expectations. First of all, I think the Poppy Parker face is one of the most beautiful faces in the doll world, in the fashion doll world. I just think it's so pretty. They always do such beautiful screenings on her. This one, all in pink, It's Barbie core, which is one of my favorite styles for dolls also. It also has a 60s flair to it, which is my favorite time period for clothing. She's got beautiful metal jewelry there. As you can see, this stunning stole with these little dangles with jewelry, little bits hanging them on, like absolutely stunning. Of course, we have the fabric shoes, as we normally do with Integirty Toys. For me, when I opened this doll, I was like, wow, amazing. Like, this is what a fashion doll can be. And I was very taken with her. And that's why she made it to the number 11 spot on my list. Oh, she's absolutely stunning and gorgeous. Look at her hair too. The only thing I actually cannot stand, make me violently angry about the Integirty Toys dolls is the stands. They suck and they don't work well. And they just spin. So I stick her on there and she's just whirling around. Like, All right, we've made it to the number 10 spot. And this is probably gonna come as no surprise to anybody. There were some real standouts in the playline world for me this year, as we all know. Most of them were Bratz. Bratz is coming through for me with the nostalgia, and there was one line that was more nostalgic than any of them. Can you guess what it is? Hurry quick before I go over there. And that's, of course, these scorchin' Bratz. This is another group that I'm doing together because I just feel like one can't be without the other. These dolls are meant to be together. They look absolutely stunning together. And that was part of the reason I ended up with all 4 of them, because of how much I enjoyed looking at them all together. I did a whole video on these dolls, which I will link down below if you'd like to watch that or you missed that. These dolls are coming through on like the nostalgic sort of 1990s vibes, but also giving something like really fresh and new, which I really appreciate. Like the screening styles that they did on these dolls. Look at them. Look at their faces. Look at those faces. I just think are so beautiful, and I feel like they've done a lot of lines with really unique screening styles this year. Bratz specifically, they're seeming to be able to like hit on the nostalgia and also give us something brand new at the same time, which is something I really appreciate. I love these dolls. The price point, 10 on 10. They originally retailed for like $15, I think. I got a couple of these for that price, but then it went up to 20, which I still think is a really good deal for what you're getting here. Their outfits are stunning, their faces are gorgeous, their hair is cute. If I did have to pick a favorite of the group, I think I would pick this Chloe. Everybody has really stunning and cool makeup, but there's something about the silver iciness of her with that platinum hair and the silver lashes and the blue makeup that I just really gravitate to. So she would be my favorite one. But overall, I think this is a really strong showing from Bratz. And that's why these stunning ladies have made it to the number 10 spot on my list. Ooh, yes, stunning queen. The natural light is making me look glowy and angelic, which is so the opposite of what I am. And sorry, the camera angle is going to keep changing because instead of filming this like the whole section sitting down, I just keep getting up, go do the other sections, which isn't the most efficient way of filming, but it's the way that my brain is processing the information right now, so that's what we're doing. We're moving on to number 9 now. Number 9 is a very special doll to me. This is a doll that I got at New York City Doll Con this year. It was the first year of New York City Doll Con, the first con for dolls that I ever went to. I think the first con I ever went to, honestly. I'm like not good in social situations like that, but I had a nice time anyway. And of course, the number 9 doll on this list is Lilith. This is a Furby with legs and arms of Laguna Blue from Monster High. She is the creepiest, most beautiful girl in the whole entire world. I mean, look at her. Look at her creepy ass face. Look at her weird body. This doll was created by an independent artist. I know them on Instagram by c4t.bus. I will link their information down below. They're like a puppet maker. When I saw that they were going to be at DollCon with a Furby with legs, I was like, absolutely, I am getting one of those. That is for me, that is my vibe, that is my aesthetic. It's creepy, it's a doll, it's nostalgic. And of course, she is a demonic character. Her name is Lilith, has a demonic connotation. She's a mischief maker. She causes mischief and mayhem around this house. And she's also a channel mascot, which I feel like makes sense for me. And ever since getting Lilith, you know, my life has been pretty much going downhill. And it is her fault. But she still managed to make it to number 9 on the list, so I guess she's doing something right. I literally love this doll so much. I respect the artistry of her as well, and that's why she made it all the way to number 9. She's actively putting a curse on you as we speak. There's a truck passing outside. I feel like this video is really like giving the vibes of my channel. We got all the street noise. We got everything falling down. I did remember to put a microphone on this time, so at least the sound quality will be fine. And here come the sirens. How perfect. It was like as if on cue. As if on cue. I sure do wish I brought my vape over here. I really like this light. I'm glad I decided to sit down now. Couldn't have gotten this effect if it were 4 o'clock in the afternoon when it's pitch black. This is an important doll to me because up until this year, I had not been a Bratz collector. I wasn't that interested in what Bratz was doing prior to this. I wasn't really a collector in my childhood, and the main reason is because like the fact that the feet came off like freaked me out. Like my brain couldn't process the information of the doll not having feet. I don't know. I still think about that now, but I'm over it as like a problem. I picked up one Bratz that changed the world for me and my love for Bratz, and that was this doll, the Anniversary Jade doll. When I saw her, I was like in awe of how gorgeous she was and how fashion forward and unique this dress was, and just like the aesthetic of the design. The colors are so like atypical of dolls, the veil, the shoes. These shoes really were part of the selling factor too, because I love them. But there's just something about the aesthetic of her and the vibe of her that I really vibed with. And so I picked her up. I struggled to get her out of the box. Like the first 15 minutes of the box opening is literally me trying to get the box open. But once I got her out of the box, my world was changed forever because I became the biggest Bratz fan on earth. She was worth every cent I paid for her. Look at this face, the makeup, the dress, the hair. Whoever designed this doll is a genius, and I love them so much, and I'd like to personally thank them for making me a Bratz lover. And that's why this doll made it all the way to number 8 on the list. She's in a special spot in my house. I keep her right in front of my bed so I can just stare at her all the time. All right, another real hit of the season for me, you guys. You know, me and Mattel don't always see eye to eye on most things. I get violently angry at most things that Mattel does because I don't think that they're trying hard enough and then they're charging too much money for their product. But there is one doll that rose above the rest this year for me and Mattel products, and that of course was the Skeletor alien doll. This doll is like the antithesis of everything Mattel does. Not only is she just like a doll that I would vibe with because I love space and I love aliens, they also did the most when it comes to detail, like stuff that they didn't have to do, they did to this doll. And I'm just like so grateful to see it, you know, like it's so nice, it's refreshing to see that from Mattel. The face is stunning. I did a whole review on this doll. If you want to take a closer look, we can link it down below. The helmet is stunning. She has multiple separate pieces of clothes. Like everything you see is a separate piece. There's this rib cage sort of top piece with all this beautiful sculpted detail. She's got this long stunning tail, which is an annoyance in a display. It does get in the way, if I'm being honest. She's got this gorgeous outfit that is 1, 2, 3 pieces, and these stunning shoes. The texture on the body is gorgeous. The hand sculpt, look at the hand sculpt, that's gorgeous. There's just nothing about her that isn't just like thought through. Every detail is thought through, and I just really appreciate it, and I want to see more of that from Mattel. That being said, I wrote a glowing review of this doll, posted it to the Mattel website, and then they immediately took it down and told me it violated community guidelines. I'm like, oh, so you don't want me to tell you that I liked your doll. Got it. Just another source of frustration with me and Mattel. I'm sure it was like AI reading it and I said one word that they took out of context. I also despise this stand. I have a really hard time making her stand on it. She just wants to fall over, and part of that is because of the weight of the tail, but also part of it is just the stand stucks. She needs something like a little bit more substantial because of the tail, I think. Gotta get her just right on there, she's gonna fall down. It's a beautiful work of art from Mattel. I would love to see more, not necessarily even more dolls like her, but just like more dolls with as much thought put into them as this one, because I really appreciate that. Look at the shine on the skirt, the texture on the skirt. There's just so much texture to look at and feel and touch. She's like a wonder for the senses, yes. I want to make her like a little girly dress to wear too. That's gonna be so cute. The next doll isn't gonna come as a surprise to anybody either. We're at number 6 now, and this is a relatively recent purchase. There's another work of art by another doll company. Quickly guess before I show her. The number 6 doll on my list is this holiday Chloe doll. This was one of the absolute most beautiful dolls that I got this season. I know she's a controversial one. People think she's too weird. They don't like her face because it has weird makeup, but that's everything that I love about her, okay? I'm assuming this doll got designed during that like phase where everybody was obsessed with glass skin, and that's why she looks like this. And I just think that's such a beautiful, fun aesthetic. They also gave her makeup almost identical to the makeup in that runway show. So I can't imagine this wasn't inspired by that. But there was just something so ethereal about her, so stunning, so gorgeous, so unique. The dress that's just like got like a giant massive cutout that's held on by beads. It's like avant-garde fashion. And I just love when a doll company just is like, I'm gonna try something really wacky and weird and see what happens. And then every time they do that doll is for me. And that's what this doll is to me. Just an absolutely stunning work of art. The only thing I would change about her is this hair. I want to take it down. I want to just wet it with gel so it all looks wet, kind of like the front pieces. I just want her to look slick all over. Just wet as wet can be. One of the most perfect dolls I've seen this season, a work of art. So happy to have her, and that's why she made it all the way to number 6. Coming in at number 5, here are, of course, the Bratz Fashion Pixies. I didn't have enough nice things to say about them when I reviewed them. There just simply weren't enough nice words because I love these dolls so much. These are for sure some of my favorite dolls in my collection at present. Not only do I love their fashions, but I love the whole vibe of these. I love that they were sort of able to meld like the fantasy aspect and the fashion aspect with these dolls. Fashion Pixies, the name says it all, really. And I had such a good time with these dolls, giving them these hairstyles too. Like, I'm not a hair play person generally speaking, but I thought that these dolls needed more like fairy coated hairstyles. So I did these ones, and I love the way they came out. I feel like it really personalized them in my collection. It probably helped boost them a little bit in my eyes, and I also have them in this beautiful sort of cottagecore display. There are a lot of things about these dolls that make them some of my favorites of the year, and that's the reason why these stunning ladies made it all the way to number 5. Also these screenings and the shininess of the makeup. It's just, everything about them is so lovely. Number 4, another Mattel doll, everyone. That's a pretty high spot for a Mattel doll, but this is a special Mattel doll. I consider this doll Bill Greening's last hurrah, because I don't know that we would have gotten a doll this good out of Mattel if it wasn't for it being Bill Greening's last hurrah. I know he's designed other dolls, but it was like this doll was released and like 3 days later they were like, we fired Bill Greening. So this is the one I consider his last hurrah. Now this doll was made specifically for me. It's everything I love in a doll. It has the stuffy face mold, which is one of my favorite face molds of all time. Second of all, she's got like a Poochie printed all over sort of like 60s vibe to her. She looks like, you know, have you ever seen Sweet Charity? That girl in The Rich Man's Frug who wears her ponytail really high and whips it around. She like reminds me of that girl, and that was like, made an impression on me in my childhood. So she reminds me of her just generally speaking. Also the cut of the dress is kind of the same vibe. She's got these beautiful earrings, beautiful necklace, this absolutely fucking stunning bag, fabric shoes. When do we see fabric shoes from Barbie? Hardly ever. But then the best part is this absolutely stunning coat. Like, are you kidding me? Look at this thing. This is a nice doll. I don't remember what she cost. I think it was $120. And I feel like that's not a bad price for what you're getting here. Her dress has a zipper in it. When does that happen? Well, literally never. I feel like she kind of feels like an old collector doll from Mattel. Like, this is the kind of stuff we would get like back in the early 2000s, the late 90s, like the good times of collector dolls. That's what she feels like to me. She's like not only a throwback because she looks like she walked straight out of the 60s, but like a throwback for quality also. And that's why she made it all the way to number 4. I mean, I'm so grateful to have her in my collection. And if Mattel would do more things like this, even at the high price point, I would just be grateful, honestly. Like, I just want nice things. I don't even mind paying for them, but it's just like, where are they? Gotta make a $200 million profit. That's the most important thing for Mattel. Number 3, another 60s doll. It's the spaced out Poppy Parker. Let's take her hat off so we can admire her beauty. She is gorgeous to me. This is almost my ideal doll. Like if I could design my perfect doll, she's like almost it. She's like got a space age vibe to her. She looks like she could have come out of like a 1960s sci-fi film, which are some of my favorite aesthetics. Then of course there's the face. It's a Poppy Parker face. Gorge. It's the color palette for me, pink and orange, two of my favorite colors to see. Then of course there's all the Integirty little touches. We've got real metal jewelry. This dress, every time I open my mouth, that thing screeches. Then of course we've got all the little Integirty touches, like this real metal jewelry, this absolutely stunning metal bag for whatever reason. She's got a functional zipper in the back of her dress. The dress is fully lined. And then these shoes, of course, are fabric, but this is the one thing that I would change about the doll to make her perfect to me. I would have put her in go-go boots because I feel like that's like the iconic look from the period. The only thing I would change, but I also love these shoes, so I'm not even sad about it. She is basically my ideal doll. So of course she made it to number 3 on the list. But I have 2 more dolls that are even more stunning and even more detailed than her, if that's even possible. It is possible because they're ball jointed doll. She won't stand on the stand now. She's hateful and spiteful. Actually, that's not true, just the stand is hateful and spiteful. The number 2 doll on my list is a very special doll to me. First of all, it was designed by a friend, which I love. I love owning art that my friends made. So this doll is just special to me in that way. But it's not just that my friend designed it, it's also that it's beautiful and stunning and gorgeous. So this is an ethereal girl BJD. She has many aspects about her that make her unique and different to other dolls. First of all, she is a made-to-be trans doll. I don't know that anybody else has ever done that before. There are other ball jointed doll designers that have offered like hybriding parts together, but they have never exclusively made a trans doll, and that's what this doll is, and I just think it's nice for representation purposes, okay? But not only is she just a trans doll, look at her face. Look at the sculpting. Look at the beauty. I mean, are you kidding me? If you're not a ball jointed doll collector, you probably wouldn't have experienced this because I feel like fashion dolls tend to pose as you would expect them to, but with a lot of ball jointed dolls, they have the capacity to get into the pose that you want them to get into, but it's very hard to make them do it. This doll doesn't have that problem. You put her in a pose, she's gonna stay there. Like she'll hold out her arm this way. Like a lot of the time, the joints just don't fit right. They don't pose as you would expect them to. Of course, the posability is amazing because she's a double jointed doll. All the parts are set on balls, so she's gonna have a great mobility anyway. It's a very like natural human capacity for wrist movement there. Also the sculpting. I'd show you more, but I don't want to get demonetized. I do have a box opening for this doll though, where I do show more of this doll, so you can go and watch that. I'll link it down below. Absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. She's also like an extremely heavy, sturdy doll. Quality, you know, she's a thick, heavy piece of resin. I also think the price point of her, what I paid for her, was very fair. It was before tariffs though, so I don't know what the price point's looking like now. I believe I paid $700 for her, which in ball jointed doll land is a very like middle of the road price, which I know sounds crazy. But at the time I was gainfully employed, I had saved up a lot of money, and I wanted to spend the money buying myself a work of art from a person whose art I respected. She's also a central character in my story, and I feel like when I create a story around a doll, I generally like connect with them better. So that's also part of it. But I just love this doll so much. I'm so grateful to my friend, Ethereal Girl BJD, Leah, for making such a work of art and for allowing me to have this in my collection. I'm gonna stick her over here because she's gonna fall if I try and put her back on that table. She's just relaxing next to Lilith. I'll show you later. Now, it was actually pretty hard for me to choose between number 2 and number 1 because I feel like the Ethereal Girl BJD probably has more sentimental value for me than my number 1. My number 1, there were just so many details in number 1 that I felt like I had to give it the number 1 position. Of course, my number 1 slot goes to this Amicus doll BJD that I made into Aurora, the singer. I'm rewatching the OA right now though, and I feel like every time I look at this doll, she looks so much like Brit Marling that I kind of want to do like a Brit Marling look for her also. But this doll is extraordinary, okay? When I reviewed her, I'll link the video down below, There's a sculpted freaking armpit in there. Like, are you kidding me? She's got the most mobility of any ball jointed doll that I own. She was also the most expensive doll that I've ever bought. And this was one of those ones where I had saved up a lot of money, and when I saw her, I needed her so badly. And then I purchased her, and then like afterward, I was like, what was I thinking? That's like an insane amount of money to spend on a doll. But I did, and I received her. But I want you to just take a look at the sculpting on this one. It's got similarly beautiful sculpting to the Ethereal Girl BJD. There's her back, just the muscles, the shoulder blades. I mean, everything is just so gorgeous. Here's her hand. So pretty. Yeah. She's another one who will hold all the poses that you give her. She's very easy to pose and work with. She's got a ton of posability also. And I just like love when I get a ball jointed doll and it's not fighting me every step of the way. And the two that made it onto this list, I think they're actually the only two that I got this year. I don't even think I bought them this year. I bought them last year, but they arrived this year, so we're counting them in the list. These two are two of my best posers. I have some other ones that are actually really good posers too that don't fight. Like my Teeny Tinkers doll. She's another one that doesn't fight me, which is really nice. Yes, but I decided to make this girl into the singer Aurora. Aurora, if you don't know who she is, you gotta check her out. I actually have a whole playlist, and most of the playlist is just her singing because it's like so wild to watch her perform live. Like, it's crazy. Check it out. I'll link the whole playlist down below. I made her this outfit, which I never finished because I just stopped having any desire to sew anything. But it's very Aurora coded, it's very Aurora styled. The other thing that I love about her is here, look at the difference in these. You can really see it, these two. Her shoe fell off. No! Why? I'm generally like super heavy-handed, and most of my face ups come out like this. This is beautiful and I love it. I like actually a heavy hand. It's just like an aesthetic that I generally speaking prefer. I just like details, you know? 20 layers of sealant later, that's what I come up with. But for this doll, I didn't want that. I wanted to give her like a really soft, cool toned look, because that's what Aurora looks like. She's like a very cool toned person and she's very soft. And so the fact that I was able to accomplish that was like a feat for me. It also helps that the sculpting was so detailed on this doll that I didn't have to do much to it to like make me enjoy the way that she looks. But like, because it was such a challenge for me to do that, and I actually managed to do it, that also like gives her a higher like status value in my mind because I did something new that I'm not comfortable with. It's a little bit easier to show you some of the sculpting on this body. Look at the knees. Look at the feet. Look at the feet. Just look at the feet. Look at the detail. I actually need to paint these feet because Aurora often goes barefoot. I also can't find shoes that fit. That's the other problem with ball jointed dolls. If you collect, you know. It's like, where am I gonna get shoes for these things? And I collect these odd size ones. I can never find shoes for them, it's awful. She's #1 for the year, everybody. This Amicus doll, BJD, making it to the #1 spot on my list for a multitude of different reasons that I just talked about. Also, this wig was made by Hopeful Creations, and he did such an amazing job. Like, I never could have accomplished this. It just never would have happened for me. It looks so good. Just love. Look at this. Ready? Look at that. Get that. It's just like, the way she moves is very Aurora coded too. Like, she can be real graceful and kind of awkward at the same time. I'm about to put everybody in a line, but look at the grace. Look at the beauty. Oh my goodness. Her shoe fell off, so now she's just holding it. The dog's gonna bark. Absolute queen. I need to do a photo shoot with her in this dress doing something like this. There they are, everybody. There they are. Of course, I'm not forgetting about Bratz Scorchin and the Bratz Fashion Pixies. I just don't feel like moving them out of their displays. We saw them earlier. You get it. They were some of my favorites of the year too. But this is most of the lot. My favorite dolls that I got this year. Let me know what you think about these dolls. Who was your favorite of this group? Who was your favorite doll you got this year? You can give me a top 10, top 15. I want to know. I want to know what you guys have been enjoying this year. Fairly certain this was a pretty long one again, everyone. So if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, let me know you're a real one. And put that party popper emoji down in the comment section below. That's to wish us all a happy new year. Hopefully 2026 will bring joy to everyone. I know what it's definitely going to bring for me, more expensive doll collecting, but that's fine, no worries if not. Thank you so much for being here with me, especially if you've been here for a while. I really appreciate your time. And like always, I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.